Hey YouTubers, Nightwing19 here. So this is going to be my episode 6 video for The Flash. Enter Zoom. So as always, I'm going to give you a recap of the episode, give you my thoughts, and write down to my top 5 moments. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. As the team works to find a way to stop Zoom, Dr. Light escapes her containment cell after Barry was hoping that she would help them stop Zoom. Instead, her Earth-1 counterpart, Linda Park, agrees to help the team by impersonating Dr. Light. Dr. Wells creates a speed-dampening serum, and the team stages a fight at one of the breaches in order to trick Zoom through. The attempt fails as Zoom knew what they were attempting. Instead, he goes after Linda before fighting Barry. Zoom is much faster and easily beats Barry, showing his defeated, unconscious body to the local news and the police station, before ultimately returning to Star Labs. Zoom stabs Barry with his hand, but Cisco shoots him with the serum, which hurts Zoom but still leaves him with enough speed to escape. Later, Wells reveals that Zoom has his daughter Jessie and he came to Earth-1 to stop Zoom. Barry wakes from his injuries and discovers that he can no longer feel his legs. So overall, I'm giving this episode a 9. Really funny episode, yet really scary towards the end of the episode. It wasn't scary like horror movie scary, it was just terrifying to see Zoom beat Barry and to go around and show that he beat the Flash. If I was Barry, I would be really traumatized. I say what I didn't like about this episode, and I really don't say this a lot about the Flash, but I just didn't like how long it took to actually get to this fight. Like, you had to get Linda up to speed with the plan and train her, and then when they were actually staging the fight, it took even longer, but the fight was actually pretty funny. They were just going off script so many times, like, are you good? You good? But overall, still a really great episode. We didn't get a lot of new information on who Zoom is. I still think that it's the Earth-2 Barry Allen. He's sort of trying to get Barry to realize that he's the best. He even says that he's the fastest man alive. So what if Zoom is actually Barry and he's trying to prove that he's the better Flash? I don't think that it's going to be somebody else that's new. If that was the case, they wouldn't go through all this trouble to conceal his identity. Wells said that Zoom is human, so he's not going to be the Black Flash. They'll do Black Flash at a certain point, but I don't think that they're going to do him this year. It would have been perfect to see the Black Flash if Barry was actually dying in this episode. He just had a broken back and a stab to his lower body, so he wasn't near death, he was just really injured. So, now into Easter eggs. This episode tells us more about Jessie Quick. I think her real name is Jessica Jessie Wells. When Wells said that she was quick, that was just like a wink to her comic book persona. I'm not sure if she'll gain Speed Force powers, it's a possibility, but for the most part, I think she'll just be a regular human. I don't think that they would have cast a character with superpowers from the comics who's going to play a big role in the season and not give him or her superpowers. But in some cases, they don't get powers, but rather like winks and nods to their comic book persona. During a news report, they mentioned that Robert Queen is the Hood. This is sort of like how in Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne, Bruce's dad, became Batman and not Bruce. Oliver was the one who died when the Queen's Gambit went down, and in the Flashpoint comic, Bruce died in Crime Alley that night. This sort of adds fuel to the Henry Allen Zoom theories. If Robert Queen was the Hood, who's to say that Henry Allen isn't Zoom? Zoom does look a bit more muscular than Barry, so maybe it could be Henry Allen, but I seriously doubt that. So, now to my top 5 moments, starting with number 5. Barry reveals to Linda that he's the Flash. I really liked her response, yo, I kissed the Flash. Number 4. Harrison Wells' flashbacks. These scenes did a really good job of humanizing Harrison Wells. It made him seem less of a douchebag and more of a caring father who's really trying to find his daughter, even though he's still a douchebag regardless. During these scenes, he's seen yelling at one of his employees over the phone. The Reverse Flash Harrison Wells was just trying to get home, so I guess you could say that they humanized him as well, but the Earth-2 Harrison Wells seems more humanized because he has a daughter that he's trying to protect. Number 3. Team Flash trains Linda to become Dr. Light. Even though the whole process of getting Linda up to speed with the plan was dragging the plot of the story, it was still pretty funny. I just loved how Cisco had cardboard cutouts of everybody. Gotta have a hobby, right? Number 2. Barry vs. Zoom. This fight goes to show that Zoom is a lot faster than Barry. I had a theory that he's running through the split seconds of time and space, just like how Zoom's powers in the comics work, but I don't think that that's the case anymore. A lot of people think that Zoom is Edward Claris, who's rival in the comics. He's Jay Garrick's Reverse Flash in a sense. Edward Claris created Velocity 9, which grants the user with super speed. The lightning he trails is blue, so that's why everyone thinks that he is Zoom. But I don't think that that's the case. I think they're mixing and matching certain aspects from the comics. So how I see it is that Zoom was created by Harrison Wells, which they did confirm. He was testing out a formula that gives the user super speed, and it would be combined with dark matter from the particle accelerator, and thus making his powers a bit different from Barry's, a mix of the Speed Force along with Wells's Velocity 9 or whatever the serum would be. So that's why he's trailing blue lightning and not red like the Reverse Flash, because his powers aren't solely from the particle accelerator and the Speed Force. The mid-season finale should give us the identity of Zoom, and then throughout the second half of the season, we'll figure out why Zoom wants Barry dead and how he got his powers. And my number one moment, Zoom defeats Barry. The fact that Zoom goes around the city and shows that he beat the Flash just gives you an idea of how demented he is. Really scary and really terrifying. I just really love this scene. So that's it for this video, but here's my question for you guys. What are your thoughts on this episode, and who do you think Zoom is? Just leave your thoughts down in the comments below. On a side note, Patty starts to think that Joe is hiding something from her. I think that she'll find out about Joe and Team Flash and find out that Barry's the Flash on her own. She is a detective, so she's going to have to figure out all this stuff on her own, otherwise she's not really serving her character any justice. She was able to find out that Barry was blind in the last episode, so you could say that she's a pretty good detective, or rather she is a pretty good detective. So right now I'm working on videos from the last week and the videos from this past week, so I should be done with almost everything maybe by Monday or Tuesday. I am on Thanksgiving break now, so I have more time in the day to edit. Hopefully I'm able to use that time instead of using it all up for final studying. If you want, you can follow me on my social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr to stay updated with everything. There are links down in the description below. So right now you can watch my last episode review for The Flash, and you can watch my review for episode 3 of Supergirl. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.